Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Tittle Tattle Tarot. In this reading, I'm interested in Prince Edward again. This is the second one on Prince Edward, but this time I'm a little bit more serious, and I want to find out about this Duke of Edinburgh title. People keep talking about it and wondering whether Charles will bestow this title on Prince Edward. So there's a little bit of confusion. I know that perhaps the late Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen were also very keen on him having this title when they both passed. And I know that Edward was kind of a bit bittersweet on it because his inheriting this title or being bequeathed this title could only come after the death of both of his parents, which unfortunately has now happened. But the person who needs to okay this and give the gift of the title is Prince Charles. So there's been no word from him at the moment about this. And so I just wanted to look and see what the cards tell me about this title. Will Edward actually get it? So let's just do a little Celtic cross, I think, on this title. I'm going to put those back. I have already shuffled, but let's just find out from a Celtic cross what the energy is and see if we can get any answers regarding when he might possibly get given this title, Duke of Edinburgh. So let's just find the underlying energy first of all. What is the situation, the underlying energy with this first of all? So justice. Yes, I mean, I think that it probably would be justice for him to have it. He's worked hard. He really hasn't given the royal family an awful lot of trouble. He's kept his head down and he's done his job. And I think it would be very justified for him to have it. Both the Duke of Edinburgh and the Queen were for it. And he deserves it. And that would be the scales balancing and him getting what should come to him, I believe. Okay, so what is crossing this energy? What is going against it? So we have, I've got my glasses on, the star card. Well, there isn't really a great deal crossing it. He's proved to himself, along with Sophie, that they can step up. They have both stepped up to the plate since Harry and Meghan went. They've taken on more duties, and I think people are seeing the value in them. They've really sort of come into their own, and they have shone. So, the energy crossing it is all good. It's all good energy. There's nothing bad there at all. They've put themselves, or they have been put in a much higher profile position, and they are shining and doing very, very well, and people love them. So the crowning, the sort of crowning situation with this, what's going on here? Two of Pentacles. It's a bit of a juggling act, really. I think trying to keep everyone happy, trying to do the right thing. I think Charles, he's got an awful lot going on at the moment, and people are very much, what's happening? When are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? You should be doing this. You should be doing that. And, the royal family doesn't really work like that. Everything is very carefully considered. Nothing is ever rushed. And I think people are expecting this to happen overnight and everything to be quick. And Charles has a lot of things to balance as King Charles. So I think that, he's weighing things up. Not that he won't give it, but he has other priorities at the moment. And I think this is what I'm seeing with, the Pentacles. There are higher priorities. And I'm sure that this is a big priority for Edward. But for Charles, at the moment, there are things that are far more important that need his attention. So the underlying energy, we've got the Five of Pentacles. So I'm sure that Edward feels at the moment, and people who support Edward and Sophie, they feel like, well, he's been left out in the cold a little bit here. He's given faithful service, and his brother's not honoring. He's sort of locked him out in a way. It's all happening in there. They've all doing very well, thank you. And Edward's doing a lot of work with Sophie, and they're not getting rewarded. I think that's the underlying energy that not particularly Edward feels, but people who are around Edwards, and maybe the press and things like that, that are maybe not the press, but people that are sort of siding with Edward feel he's been a little bit sidelined and left out. But I don't believe that Edward feels like that. But people just want things and they want them now. I think especially with the internet, let's get it now. But the royal family doesn't work like that. They need time, and they work at their own speed. So in the past, we've had the Page of Cups. So yes, I think the Page of Cups came up in the earlier reading that I did of Edward. And he's an emotional man. I think he's always been, this quite emotional character of all the brothers, the royal brothers. He's the one who wears his heart on his sleeve. He's the one who has that sort of softer side to him, loves acting, and I think that he's a much more emotional character than his other brothers. And so that's been his background, a very emotional man. Yes, yeah, I think that's very true of Edward. And so into the very near future. You see, I wonder this. This is like the home and celebration, but I'm wondering whether this title will come when something is being celebrated. And now I look at this, and I wouldn't normally look at the Four of Wands and think of birthdays, but of course, there is this birthday cake here. This is quite sort of a royal family card, the home, the four walls, and in Rider Waite you'd have like the castle in the background. Well, with this you've got blowing out of the candles. So I'm wondering whether this title will be bestowed on him on a special birthday. So Edward, I believe, will be 60, not next year, but the year after, 2024. So I'm wondering whether this title will be gifted to him on his 60th birthday. And I just, a little shudder that went up my back then. And I just wonder if that is possibly true. Yes, that this could be a gift for his birthday. We shall see. So let's have a look at some of the other energy on the outside of this. This is the very sort of intimate, the very sort of very close energy regarding this. And so we've got from being the Page of Cups, a very emotional man, just doing the right thing, stepping up to the plate, becoming someone who people really trust, although they trusted in them, but it's sort of growing and maturing, and then coming towards a birthday where this title, I think, could actually come to him then. So let's have a look. So we'll go and have a look at the energy that he's projecting around this. What's he really thinking, the energy around him regarding this title? Does he actually want it? A little reshuffle here. Oops, that one wants to come out. And we have the Seven of Wands. So this is quite a sort of battling card, but you have got the higher ground. You're not sort of defeated. Yes, and I think he's quite, not openly, but he is, I really want this. I want this. And I think that, he's feeling like his mother and father wanted him to have it, and he's prepared to, I don't mean fight for it, but he's like, I really want this. I think I could make a very good Duke of Edinburgh. I feel passionate about it, and I'm on the higher ground because I've worked hard, worked hard for the royal family. Sophie and I, we're really sort of become very, very sort of central and important, and I want this, and I'm prepared to, say that I want this. Not in an aggressive way, but I have the higher ground because I've worked. So let's see what, in general, people think. Let me turn those around. Let me see what people think And when I say people, people around him within the palace, not necessarily Charles, but that sort of energy around him, the courtiers, the men in the grey suits. What do they all think about this? Death. Well, I think that they think that we've had these sad deaths of the Queen and the Duke of Edinburgh, and things need to move on now. That's all past, and that era has gone. And now with death, there's a new beginning. And I think that people believe that, yes, this all needs to go ahead, and this man needs to take over this title. It was something that was wanted for him, and it's a new era, it's a new time, and from those deaths there needs to be life coming in again. And they're still young enough, Sophie and Edward, to inject fresh enthusiasm and freshness into this Duke of Edinburgh title and everything that it stands for. So let's have the hopes and fears. Hopes and fears, that one flips, so I'm going to go for that. And that is the King of Pentacles. So that's very earthy energy. And I kind of see that as getting your hands dirty. I always think of, the King of Pentacles is very practical. He doesn't really run on emotions. And the King of Swords is very much thought and logic and truth. King of Pentacles is very earthy. He'll get his hands dirty and be very practical. And I think his hopes is that he can get his hands dirty. He can get in there and start doing some things. He wants to get going, and there are certain changes that he wants to make that will make his mark, putting his mark on being the Duke of Edinburgh. So let's just have a look at the final card, the final outcome. This is with the least reliable one, because this is future energy, and we're talking possibly 2024, because I've got a strong feeling that this could come to him on his 60th birthday. But let's just see what the cards say. Final energy, the outcome. The Prudence Edward, that nearly flipped. So one more go. I will take that one. That one to jump. Yeah, that's rather nice. We've got the Six of Wands. Yes, I haven't got my glasses on. Six of Wands. Hooray! Well done. I like this version of it. In the Rider-Waite, you've got the person on the horse back looking a little bit smug and riding along with the wreath on the stick and on the wand. He's obviously done terribly well for himself and everyone's clapping, but it's a little bit puffed up with pride. I like this version because she's taking a bow. She's not full of pride. It's very much, oh, well done, you got it, what a lovely performance, it's all worked out for you and we're so happy for you. And it's like, well done. So do you know what, he is going to get this, he is going to get it. But the royals don't work quickly, and my best guess from these cards is that it's going to happen on his 60th birthday, and it will be a gift then. And it'll be well worth waiting for, and nobody needs to worry that he's being ignored and left out in the cold, because he really isn't. It's just Charles has got so much to do, so much juggling around. There are far more pressing things going on at the moment, and he's got an awful lot to get into order. And so, don't worry, he hasn't been left out in the cold. This will be granted to him because him and Sophie are stars. They've worked so hard, and it's justice. They deserve it. They do deserve it. And Charles knows that. And so that's the way I see it, and that's the way the cards see it. I hope you enjoyed that reading, and I will be back again with another one very soon. Thank you.